It was founded probably on the site of a monastery from the 6th century. The church itself that they built was flooded sometime in the 700s and then destroyed by the Vikings round about the year 1000. Then a new church was built sometime after the Norman conquest, and what we see today are the various stages of building and rebuilding. 2.5 years ago, architects, chasing the damp as it were, said, we think there are medieval paintings under there, and began with their surgical instruments taking away 20 layers of lime wash, and lo and behold, they began to discover the things that we're seeing today. They were probably painted round about 1485. And when were they painted out? Well, that would have happened during the moves of the Reformation. So they would in fact have only been on view for probably less than 70 years. The main picture, which will continue to be revealed, is certainly going to be the finest Georgian dragon in the Wales. The princess and her lamb, who's going to be fed to the dragon for breakfast unless St. George gets there in time, a ginger-bearded king who's looking particularly worried about what's going on, and of course the Queen sitting in a remarkable castle. The tale that it tells is of the princess leading the wounded dragon back into the castle, and then the king and queen converting to Christianity and consequently the dragon being polished off. They are the poor man's Bible, giving them stories of how to live a moral life. This church reveals its secrets quite slowly, but goodness me, once you start unpacking those secrets, there are so many tales to tell.
St. Illtyd was one of what are called the Celtic saints, and he set up what came to be the oldest centre of learning in Great Britain. In 1777, John Wesley came here and was allowed to preach in the church, and in his journal he wrote that this was the most beautiful and spacious parish church in Wales. This church retains evidence of every important change that took place in Christian history in this country. The West Church houses the most important collection of Celtic crosses outside the National Museum of Wales. The most important cross in the church is known as the Howelt Cross. It's one of the finest examples of a Celtic wheel cross in South Wales. And it carries an inscription, "In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Howelt placed this cross for Rhys his father." And Howelt ap Rhys has been traced. He was the king of what was called Glywysing, which is roughly the old Glamorgan, and he died in 886. And therefore, it shows that this church was important at that time as a burial place of kings, and indicates the importance of Llancarfan Major in the Vale of Glamorgan in pre-Norman times.